Anthony, I hate to ask, how are you doing this Monday?
Can I say that I'm surprised by what happened yesterday? I mean, you guys heard me for the last several weeks. I had very little confidence in this team, but I will even say I thought we would do a little bit better than that. Like, that was embarrassing yesterday. The Giants didn't even look like an NFL football team. They were incompetent. Daniel Jones, the year six leap, I think is dead in the water, unfortunately. Man, that was ugly. Not a lot of fun, but definitely a lot to talk about after that game.
Yes, we have a lot to get into. Figure we go chronological here. We'll start with the Giants, then preview the New York Jets in the second half of this one. Zachary Berner, I mean, he starts us off in the comments. With the New York Giants first round pick, they select what quarterback? I mean, it really, I do feel bad for Giants fans. I'm going to be completely honest with you because it's one game into a 17-game season, and already on the timeline, I am seeing NFL draft talk. And like that is just so depressing after one game into the season to be like, our quarterback is really this bad. And I'll pull up the box score because I think, how is that not the biggest takeaway from this game? I'm sure there's a lot that we can get into, but just wanted to pull up the stat line. 22 of 42, 186 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, including a pick six. Unreal.
I mean, I can't believe they let him throw the ball 42 times. What are we doing? Like, how was he in the game through all four quarters? After the first quarter, I was ready to pull him and put in Drew Lock. After the second quarter, I was begging. After the third quarter, I was on my hands and knees. And we made it through 4 quarters of Daniel Jones football. It was brutal. And Brian Dable was asked after the game, did the idea of benching Daniel Jones ever cross your mind? Nope. That's what he said. Nope. Never crossed his mind. Even though there was 20,000 fans screaming at him to put in Drew Lock. It never crossed his mind. I think it's ridiculous. I think it ties into everything that I've been saying for several weeks about Daniel Jones and the privilege that he gets from this Giants coaching staff. He doesn't have to play in the preseason. He doesn't get any competition for his starting quarterback job. It's ridiculous. All of the criticisms that I've had of the guy, they were all on display in this week one game. He's terrible under pressure. He adds his own pressure. I mean, the offensive line, I thought, played a great game. I don't think they allowed that much pressure. But how many times did Daniel Jones just run into pressure or run into a sack? So I see a couple comments down below, who are the Giants selecting in the first round? Welcome to New York, New Jersey, Carson Beck. I like Cam Ward. I just posted a little highlight clip of him. I'm excited for Cam Ward out of Miami. I was a huge fan of him out of Washington State when he initially declared for the draft, went back and transferred. Big fan of his and big fan of a lot of these quarterbacks in the draft. And hell, man, it sucks that it's September and I have to start talking about quarterbacks in the draft class already, but this is the sad reality of this Giants football team. I mean, Daniel Jones is just unable to put together a competent offense. We've seen it time and time again, and yesterday was one of the most egregious occurrences of him just being a bad quarterback.
Yeah, Frank's hanging with us and said, my brother is a Giants fan and is still blaming everyone else in defending. How could this possibly be? And for like full transparency, obviously Jets fan, rocking the Jets jersey today. I have spent my whole life watching shitty, awful quarterback play. If anyone knows bad quarterback play, it's me. I've watched it my entire life. What Daniel Jones has put on tape, and in this game in particular, in week one, is as bad as it gets. We saw it in the preseason. In the limited time that he played, which you were right at the time to bring up too, how he needed to get more reps. They were treating him like he was this franchise quarterback who didn't need to go out there. He was fine. Like he wasn't coming off an injury or a horrific showing in 2023. And just goes out, throws a horrendous pick six interception. The one in the end zone, I get they were down. He's trying to force the ball, but again, a poor decision. And then I love too, you had a tweet earlier today that I wanted to pull up because there was a lot of discussion on the play calling and that the Giants didn't do a good enough job with their play calling. And this one clip in particular is making the rounds. But as you rightfully point out, it's an RPO and he made the wrong read.
Yeah, this is totally, if you run through the clip, you'll watch, and there's a lot of people saying, wow, what uninspired play calling. You're throwing a screen here. And no, look, because if you see that slot receiver, he never even tries to chip that linebacker. That should be the number one tell for everybody. That linebacker is supposed to go unblocked because this isn't a run pass option. It's very clearly an RPO. Daniel Jones is supposed to read. Does that linebacker crash? Does he follow Singletary? Does he follow the wide receiver? He doesn't follow Singletary, so that's where the ball is supposed to go. Jones never even thinks twice about it. He just throws this to a covered Malik Neighbors for an incompletion. This is an RPO. This is the standard of the Giants offense. We get a lot of complaints about how Dable doesn't call good plays and or Kafka wasn't calling good plays and how this offense is stale. The plays are there. They're just not being executed because this is a staple in college offenses. This is a college football play. This is not an NFL three-level read against a cover three or a disguised cover two defense. That's not what this is. It's a basic RPO where you have to decide as the quarterback, am I handing this ball off or am I throwing it? And he just made the wrong decision and it results in an incompletion. You cannot blame the offensive coordinator or the head coach for that. You can only blame the quarterback for not knowing how to read a defense at the most basic rudimentary level.
I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one, and you're probably tired of talking about it, but like on that play in particular too, you could live with a guy if that's his debut, maybe his fourth start in the NFL. Daniel Jones has started 60 games in the NFL. How do you not know how to make a read on an RPO? The leash that he has gotten is absolutely insane. At this point, it's a matter of when, not if, are the Giants going to end this Daniel Jones experiment. I'm sure they'll try to, kick the can down the line for a few more weeks here. And again, I'm sure there's other things you want to talk about in this game. A 28-6 loss, really uninspiring effort. But unfortunately, it's going to continue to go back to the quarterback because, again, the play is not good enough. And this isn't the young quarterback excuse anymore. You don't have that. If it was one of his first, I'll even go 20 starts in the league. He's played 3 times that amount of football. He started 60 games. This can't continue to happen in a guy's 6th season. I really don't know what else to say.